Hello, hope you are doing well. Once again, I'm back to try to explain how these pipelines we created work. So basically, as I told you before, we are trying to look at the best way someone can learn for themselves. It is self-directed learning. So we are coming step by step looking at the different applications the pipelines actually provide, and I'm going to again continue using chemistry for this demonstration. So I'm going to open my chemistry as usual. That is a reminder, since we don't have anything to communicate, we usually find something interesting from within your whatever you've been reading recently and then display it to you to make sure you remember that. Fine, then this time around I'm not going to resume. I'm not, because we are just trying to look at the different parts of the pipeline. But what we said basically was this pipeline was meant for people who want to always resume every day per day, because these different functions I keep on showing you are actually available. If someone keeps on resuming, when the time comes for it to be available, it actually is available. So basically I'm not going to resume this time around. And what am I going to do? I'm going to look at, for example, how do I get notes? How do I get notes? How do I look at, say for example, all the files, all the notes within, say, a specific subject. So I want to first tackle the notes part. Basically this interface here, this is what I'm going to focus on for today, and it may look a bit complicated, but as I usually tell you, we are looking at simplicity. Basically we wanted this thing running on a USB drive, so that if I don't have a hard disk, I can run it on a USB drive, and then it should be able to run. Plus it is a better way we can incorporate some tools, like if you really come to appreciate deep down when it comes to the different other functions. So I'm going to concentrate on this part here for today, explain what each different part does, and then I'll call it a day. So given the nature of these pipelines, we're going to be looking at the different options. The first one is whereby we are saying enter keywords to search, and you can search your notes by topic using uppercase, by topic using uppercase letters. So if I needed the whole topic, for example, I'm in chemistry, say acids and alkalis, I will use uppercase for acids, and I will get all the notes. So what is the beauty? We are bringing in something that is actually very fantastic, that these notes here you get are on what we call a version control system. And in a version control system is whereby if I'm seated this side and I change letter A in my notes, and you are in Karamoja, your letter A the next day, when you put on internet your letter and update, when you put on internet and press X when you update your learning materials, you are going to get new updated content. New updated what? Content. So all this content here is on the version control system. Very fantastic, very fantastic. So that every time we update, then you get those changes in real time. So for now we usually update once every 5 months. Once every 5 months we come with updated information. So when you come here, you're going to update all that learning material. So we wanted something easy, and we said, you know what, let's have our learning material. For example, instead of the documents, let's have the text files. The text files are simple to use, and then they can be processed well for this kind of environment, as we shall keep on going looking at the different applications and why we chose to do the things this way. So search is whereby exactly you're going to search for content, going to class, is where you're going to go to class and choose your class. We shall come back that to the next step. Then SH is when you want to share with us something. Hey, when I press SH, you're going to share with us something. So I expect our YouTube channel, we use a Gmail account for sharing. If you have anything to share with us, when you use we prefer using Gmail, and it is because Gmail is able to track whatever, compared say to using WhatsApp. Gmail is more stable, so you can share with us things via our Gmail, and when it opens, you're going to see what we actually expect from you, your thoughts, your suggestions, your contributions. It could be even one line, it could be anything, so that we develop this thing together for the best of everything. If you want to give us, say, a document, we expect you to give us something that is labeled well, so that in future, like when we have a lot of files, then they can be easily accessed. They can be easily accessed. So basically, you come, and then of course you will remove this, and then you would put us, then attach. Then you come here and attach a file if you want it to attach, and then you send to us. Then we shall be able to make whatever is sent to us available to everyone out there, because as I told you, this is open source. We are just trying to make sure these people who are not able to go to school can actually benefit to the optimum. So that is the sharing part. When we press SR is where I check out those shared resources. I check out those shared resources. But unfortunately, when you share with us, we expect you now to continue with the revision. We don't take you back. We take you to selecting your class. And I'm going to just close it for now, and again open it again. And so I said I'm not continuing. So we're looking at SH where we're sharing. When we come to SR, it is like we want to check out those shared resources, and basically we put SR, and then we shall take it to the folder, which basically is part of what you download when you're updating learning material if you are interested. Then there you can connect to ChatGPT. For Pauno ChatGPT, you can connect to it here, and then you converse with it rather than first opening the other side, the website, whatever. There are different ways you can get to it. Similar, if you want to use Google AI, you can also use it within. So basically, why these ones are included, you may think I would go to the website, but we are talking of here where I'm, for example, using my flash disk to run everything, a bootable USB, where I don't need even a hard disk on my computer, meaning basically I will not be having most of those. And plus, we are trying to find a way of putting everything together. When you go to internet, you may have other issues there. But when you, for example, had decided to use this, for example, I can use Google, and I will ask it, and I will say, for example, hello. Say hello, what is biology? What is what? Biology. Say hello, what is biology? So basically, what we do here is this is the same Google AI, but you say we give it some instruction on how we need those answers to appear, what level of education we are on. So we predetermine how it should, for example, give us some of these answers. So meaning it is a better, when you use it here, it is much better than using the other one that is still general. This is kind of a bit modified. So they'll give you, you chat with it just anyway you can chat with any other AI model, and this is all free of charge, but you will require internet for this in the background. The only internet you need within the whole pipeline is when actually you are connecting to AI, when you are updating the code, when you are updating learning material. Again, when you leave, we expect you to go to the next class, but again I shall close and open. So you see the reminders keep changing, but they are being picked from where you actually stopped reading your content from. So we have where we create new workspace. So new workspace is really important, because as we shall see down in the series, like we need a different workspace for people to use the same computer. We usually give these videos that are included within the notes, and they are usually available offline. So we would want these people to share videos, we want them to share audios, to share images, these ones that are so huge. But there are these other files that we track, say for your progress, you track for which questions have you answered, so they were banked, which questions, which items have you answered, so they were banked, and at the end of the day, we are tracking progress. From a chapter to the next chapter, you need to qualify, you need to do some questions. From a class to the next class, you need to do some questions. So basically, creating new workspace enables different people to use the same computer, share these big files like videos, audios, images, but then these other small files that are necessary for revision actually not shared. So in this case, I will not do the workspace, but it really works well. It really works well, and when you create a new workspace, we shall assume whatever subjects you are covering are the same subjects. This other new, actually we shall not assume, we shall make sure that whatever subject is available is created for that person, and then they can always delete the shortcuts for the subjects they are not interested in. So we have covered updating the code. Updating the code is simply where I press, for example, ZZ, I'm going to update this code, for example. So I'm going to update whatever is here. So my code has been actually updated as we talk. So it will close. I will just have to open it again. So basically now I have a new version, a fresh version of the code. It has been updated, as simple as that. It's the same way you update the learning material, and it's the same way you connect to update anything along the way. So we have seen how to use the AI models. We are saying they are a bit modified for our specific case use, how we can update the code and the learning material, how we can create new workspace and its importance to make sure different people can use the same computer and they are tracked differently. Then we can also look at how we can share, and then how to check for shared resources. So what we are left with is actually how do we search for the notes. For example, I may be like interested in saying which assignments have been provided from senior 1 to senior 4. In a second, they're going to give me all the assignments that I will have to cover from senior 1 to senior 4. Like, it is very fast. It works very fast. I can take this to my secretary for printing. I can decide to answer all these things one by one. So how do we generate these assignments? Simple. It's like we look at whatever learning outcome you have within your notes, because we usually provide a set of notes. Then from that learning outcome, we can always produce those assignments. That is very fantastic. We can always produce those assignments. So it's something very unique, something very interesting. This is not something you're going to get with any other thing outside there, I'm telling you. This is unique. It's the very first thing I've seen doing that. If you can challenge me, then yeah, it will be perfect for me to have that challenge. But basically, we are going to look through all the files within your PC, pick whatever in that very specific course folder we are in, that specific subject for chemistry, and pick these assignments one by one in their order, so that you can come and see what they want you doing right from senior 1 up to senior 4. I see the first chapter is not given an assignment, probably because I think it's more of introduction to chemistry. And now you can look at all these other chapters, meaning you can come and save this, and every day you can come and write, explain the meaning of matter. You say matter is anything. Matter is anything that occupies space. Like, you write then you keep on saving. At the end of the day, when you have covered all these assignments, then you have covered the whole of chemistry. Just come here and save. But you don't save here. When you save, we're just going to again, we shall assume you don't need it. So you need to come and you say save as. So when you come and save as, you're going to save whatever name and you put it on your document. Then you can always open it, you can take it for printing, you can always make sure you're not losing out on anything. So that is really fantastic. The same way, if I was not interested in say the assignments, maybe I am more into the learning outcomes, fine, they're going to be open for you. So this is the learning outcomes from senior 1, the first chapter. The learner should be able to know appropriate activities to explain the discrete nature of chemistry. You need to have knowledge and understanding of that learning outcome. So basically, it's again going to order for you everything right from the first chapter to the very final chapter. You can have this printed. You can have this every day very fast. You don't need internet for this. That is the beauty. So every time people are like, why is this thing complicated? We are trying to make sure we are looking at that very end user who internet is a problem. When you are here in the city, you don't feel the pressure for internet. But back there in our villages, internet is a problem, network is a problem, plus internet, even the money, plus even the problems you get to when you actually go online are also much more. So we are looking at a better way, and you never know what may happen. So this is a bit fantastic. I think you can feel the reason. Maybe I'm not into that. Maybe I want a definition of an acid. What is an acid exactly? They will search all my files. They will tell me, in experimental chemistry we'll find the word acid. But not what you need best. Maybe like there are acids there, but maybe you're not interested. In mixtures we have acids here. But in the topic of air, we find something. An acid anhydride is an oxide of a non-metal that dissolves in water to form an acid. Maybe that one was my interest, but not. I wanted what was actually an acid. And an acid is a compound that dissolves in water to produce hydrogen ions as the only positively charged ions. So you'd think that maybe you would prefer using internet for search. But now this is information that is trusted, that we are editing every day to make sure we give you the best information, and then be able to find it offline, which you will not find anywhere else apart from here. You would say, what if I had one document? When you have one document, you're going to open each document per document and you're searching for the word acid. But here we search all the documents for you and bring out which documents could be having that word, display them, then look through, and then you can enjoy. Yeah, it is different. Maybe I don't want a word an acid. I just want wherever there is the word acid, pick that line, bring it to me in a second. I have everything with me. Whichever line has an acid, I'm going to pick it. I want to read. You see, acid is something so important in chemistry. That's why you're seeing a lot of information on it. Fantastic. Like, imagine checking all the files in your PC, picking whatever line is in whatever file containing the word acid, and then displaying it for you to make sure you understand what an acid is. Fantastic. Really fantastic. So basically, if also we had an image that was attached to something that had an acid, of course, we make sure that image opens differently as usual, so that you are able to zoom you are able to zoom out that image and feel it, and do what? Feel it. You zoom and feel. So you can see this one here has the word acid in it. We can also pick images that actually contain what you're searching for. Very fantastic. Offline, without internet. Without what? internet. So basically that is it. Searching using keywords, getting to class is what we are going to come back for, and then sharing, then checking the shared resources, using the AI models that are a bit more modified, updating material, and creating new workspace to ensure we can be tracked differently. So thank you for following this tool. All the best.